So Christopher Nolan's trailer for the Odyssey just dropped and I spent the last few hours absolutely dissecting this thing frame by frame, and trust me, there's so much more happening here than you might catch on a first watch. The very first image of the trailer is striking, and not because of action. We see an entire landscape buried under helmets, spears and shields, half sunken into the sand. This doesn't look like a battlefield frozen mid-fight. It feels quiet, abandoned, almost sacred. There are no bodies anywhere, just armor, and that detail alone suggests that time has passed. Either the dead were cremated in ritualistic ways or their remains were taken away, leaving behind only what defined them as warriors, their identity, their armor. Now look closely at the armor placed in the foreground. It's different. While the rest of the battlefield is filled with dull, weathered metal, this one stands out because of its distinct blue color. It's positioned on a small mound of stones, almost like a shrine. This doesn't feel random. It feels intentional, like this armor belonged to someone specific, someone important. A strong theory is that this could be the armor of a fallen comrade, someone whose death deeply affected Odysseus. Or even more interestingly, it could be Odysseus' own old armor, something he has deliberately left behind, a symbolic burial of his warrior identity. The blue color makes this idea even richer because blue is associated with the sea, and the greatest antagonist in the story of Odyssey is Poseidon, who is the god of the sea. In the next sequence, Odysseus is bowing down to the commander of the army. He is none other than Agamemnon. I think I'm pronouncing it very wrong. Anyway, his brother Menelaus, played by John, is standing right beside him. Agamemnon represents pride, ego, and disastrous leadership.
After years of war, no one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
This line feels like pure foreshadowing. If you know the original Odyssey, you know that most of the Odysseus suffering is self-inflicted. His biggest problem or hurdle is not a monster or a god, but his own ego and decisions. I'm not going to spoil, but Odysseus did a lot of things that cursed his journey back to home. And this line just confirmed that this film is going to explore the guilt of Odysseus. He's not a hero who's just trying to go home. He's a man who is slowly realizing that he himself was the biggest obstacle in that journey. Odysseus has been gone for 20 years, 10 years of war and 10 years of wandering. This is an entire lifetime, and Tom's age actually sells this perfectly. While Odysseus was fighting and drifting across the seas, a whole generation back home grew up waiting for him. Now look at Ithaca castle itself. The castle does not look warm or welcoming at all. It is grim, foggy, almost suffocating. This does not feel like a place of peace. Visually, the film is telling us that home is no longer the place Odysseus left behind. Coming back is not a happy ending. It is a beginning of just another war. A different kind of war, a war against suitors. Now this scene inside the Trojan horse is easily one of the most visceral and unsettling moments in the trailer. It is dark, claustrophobic, and almost suffocating. You can feel the tension in the air. There's a deep mythological reference here. According to the legends, when the Trojans grew suspicious of the wooden horse, they actually stabbed it with spears to check if it was hollow. This is why I like to call this moment the silent scream. These soldiers cannot react, they cannot panic, they have to sit there with fear, completely powerless, trusting the plan and their leader. In this sequence, notice the white horse at the center of the frame. In cinema, white horse is almost always symbolic. It usually represents a commander, a king, or a savior figure. And this is most likely Odysseus himself, or possibly on the right side of the frame we see soldiers dragging a massive horse-like structure using ropes. This is the Trojan horse itself, the weapon that wins the war, not through strength but deception. Odysseus does not defeat Troy by brute strength. He wins it by outsmarting them. Now the first shot of the cave entrance instantly sells the danger. The cave mouth is absolutely massive. The humans standing in front of it look tiny, almost insignificant. Visually, the films make it very clear that this is not just a shelter or a hideout. This is the home of a giant. The scale alone tells you that whoever lives here is not meant to be fought head-on. And then comes the big reveal. In this shot, the person in front of the soldiers is clearly not a human. The shape is bulky, broad and unnatural. And that creature is none other than Polyphemus, or you can call him the Cyclops. He's the son of the sea god Poseidon. In Greek mythology, Polyphemus is a man-eating Cyclops, a monstrous giant with a single orb-shaped eye in the center of his forehead. And Odysseus encounters him during his journey back from Troy and ends up trapped inside his cave. This is one of the most iconic and terrifying episodes of the Odyssey because brute strength here is just useless. And intelligence could be the only weapon. Let's see what happens in the film. In the Odyssey, a Circe named Witch tells Odysseus something very terrifying but very specific as well. If he truly wants to go home, he cannot just sail blindly and hope for the best. He has to travel to the land of the dead and seek guidance from a prophet named Tiresias. Knowledge does not come from the living world anymore, it comes from the dead. That alone sets the tone for how dark and introspective this journey is meant to be. And the ritual itself is disturbing. Odysseus digs a pit into the ground and sacrifices animals. Their blood spills into the earth, and it is the smell of that blood that draws the spirits upward. The dead rise not because they are summoned politely, but because they are hungry. They need blood to speak. It is a brutal idea, and the film seems to lean fully into that horror. So who are these dead figures? Most likely they are not just random spirits, they are Odysseus' old comrades, old dead comrades. Warriors who died during the war. Men he fought beside men who never made it home. And that is why this scene is not just supernatural horror, it is psychological horror as well. Odysseus is not merely speaking to the dead, he is confronting his guilt. These ghosts are a physical manifestation of the cost of war. The storm sequence is packed with action, but the lore behind it is what really matters. In the Odyssey, Odysseus does not wander the seas by accident, he is being punished. The god of the sea, Poseidon, hates him. And that hatred comes from something very, very personal. Now the sea becomes a weapon used against him. Every storm is not just a random weather. It was divine anger crashed upon this man, Odysseus, because he was trying to outsmart a god.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Now this flashback scene is the emotional heart of the movie. We are taken back to the moment before everything went wrong. This is Odysseus leaving for the Trojan War, saying goodbye to Penelope. Notice the lighting here. The scene is full with warm orange and golden tone. It feels safe, it feels alive. This warmth is exact opposite of the storm sequence, which is cold, blue and brutal. Visually, the film is telling us something very simple. Home is warmth and peace. The outside world, especially war and the sea, is cold and unforgiving. So most heroes would confidently say, I will return without any hesitation. But Odysseus does not lie to comfort her or himself. He knows what war does to people. He understands that survival is never guaranteed. He is arrogant, but he is a man who is afraid but still willing to go. This scene also establishes the real stakes of the story. Odysseus is not fighting for glory. He is not just trying to stay alive. He is fighting to keep a promise. Every storm he survives, every monster he escapes, every year he spends lost at sea is tied back to this one single moment. This is why he keeps going for 20 years, not because he believes he is unstoppable, but because somewhere deep down, he refuses to let this promise die. So that's all for today's video. If you think I missed some detail or you have some really good insight, you can share them in the comment section below. And if you really loved this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.